After I got laid off, I asked if I could stay with my parents for just 1 month. My dad laughed in my face and said, "You're 33, jobless, and still pathetic. This isn't a homeless shelter." My mom just said, "We raised you, not your problems." A week later, they welcomed my younger brother and his fiancée into my old room, rent-free. I just nodded and said thanks for the slayer. 86 months later, I made a decision they didn't see coming now. They're begging, "Please, don't cut us off." Not even sure how to start this. I've lurked here forever, never thought I'd actually post. But today was a whole new level of WTF in my family, so here we go. For context, I'm finally 33 and honestly, I've always been the responsible one in the family. Like, you know how there's always that one kid who does everything right, but somehow gets less attention. That's me. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I've been the one who never needed money, kept my crap together, didn't call home crying about drama or car repairs or whatever. My younger brother Josie is the total opposite. He's 2 years younger, always been the golden child. He could set the backyard on fire, and my parents would still say at least he's creative. It's been a running joke since high school, TBH, but I just lived with it. So last month I got laid off. Not going to get into details, BC. I'm not here to talk about that, but yeah, it sucked. I've been living in my own place for like 8 years, but with no warning, no backup. Just like that, I'm jobless. I've got some savings, not enough to float rent for long, so I did the thing everyone says you should never do as an adult. I asked my parents if I could crash with them for a few weeks just until I got back on my feet. I thought they'd at least pretend to think about it. But not. My dad was sitting at the kitchen table scrolling on his phone. Didn't even look up when I finished talking. He just started laughing like I told him the dumbest joke. He goes, "You're 33, you're jobless, and you're still this pathetic. This isn't a homeless shelter." Angle. I just stood there trying to process if he was messing with. I looked at my mom like maybe she'd step in and say something normal, but she just shrugged and goes, "We raise do not your problems." I tried to say it's not forever, just a month. I'll pay for food, whatever. My dad rolled his eyes, started talking about how Josie was never this weak, how he always figured stuff out. I said Jose lived at home until he was 28, and you guys paid for his car. My dad banged his mug on the table. He told me to get out, said if I couldn't handle being an adult, it wasn't their fault. My mom just started unloading the dishwasher, didn't even look at me. I tried one last time, said I'd look for jobs every day, keep out of their way. She said, "You should have planned better. You're not a kid." I grabbed my backpack, slammed the front door on the way out. The thing is, I probably would have just left it there, chalked it up to my parents being, well, my parents. But then a week later, I went back to get some of my old stuff from the garage. I walked in and heard voices upstairs. Josie and his fiancée Monica were in my old room setting up her makeup table, bed, made new curtains, his suitcase in the closet. I'm standing in the hallway like, is this a joke? Jose pokes his head out, all smiles. "Hey man, long time, right?" Monica waves, asks if I want to see the new paint color. My dad walks past, says Jose and Monica needed somewhere to stay while their apartment is getting fumigated. I go, "So it's not a homeless shelter, but it's fine for them." He just shrugs, says just is getting married. He needs help right now. My mom comes up holding a stack of towels, says we're helping them get snow hearted. It's different. I asked if they're paying rent. She says don't be bitter, Finley. I laughed, but it was that tired, pissed off kind of laugh. I said thanks for the clarity. My dad muttered something about not making a scene. I was honestly ready to lose it, but I just left outside. Josie followed me, tried to say it wasn't his idea. They just needed a place for a few weeks. He said, "You know how they are, man." I told him, "Yeah, I do." And that's where I left it. But the thing that really stuck with me wasn't even the room or the rent or the fact that they'd rather help Jose again than me. It was how casual it was for them, like they didn't see a problem. They just decided I don't count. And that was that. The next day, my mom texted to me a smiley face and a picture of Josie and Monica at the kitchen table. My dad sent me a message about how family helps family, but only when people deserve it. I didn't answer. I started sleeping on my friend Norman's couch, trying to job hunt, but mostly just replaying that day in my head. I kept thinking if it was any other family, maybe I just call it bad luck. But with my parents, it's always been this way. Joseph screws up, they help him. I ask for help, they say I should be stronger. I'm done pretending. It doesn't get to me. Not sure what I'm going to do, but I'm not just going to take it. I've got some ideas. I'll update if anything happens. For now, just needed to get this out. Thanks if you read this far. Curious what people would do in my place. Honestly, update 1. So yeah, I didn't expect so many of you to read my last post. And even more wild is how many people actually seem to get it. IDK if that made it better or worse. But at least I don't feel like I'm nuts for being Mad anyway, since I posted a lot has happened. I said I had ideas and TBH, I got more than ideas now. First off, after that whole scene at the house with Jose and Monica moving into my old room, I just kind of shut down for a bit. I was on Norman's couch, have job hunting, have just doom scrolling, and thinking about how messed up at what Norman was cool about it. Just did his own thing. Let me be pissed. He's not the type to get in your face about feelings. Honestly, I appreciated that it was weird though. You ever have that thing where you notice something kind of off and how people are acting, but you can't quite put your finger on it, like in the days after I got a text from my mom, not even about me, to some random question about how her TV remote, where I didn't answer, then another asking if I could help her set up something on her laptop, like a week after I had apparently been too pathetic to stay under their roof. Suddenly I'm tech support again, lol. I ignored both. A day later, she texted a thumbs up emoji and nothing else. A UK. If that was supposed to make me feel guilty or what. Meanwhile, Jose started popping up in my DM more than he has in years. He acted all casual, like, hey bro, hope you're good. Do you still have the login for the wife? I at the house. I deleted the message. Then he asked if I knew where the old router password. I texted back, ask mom. So not even 2 weeks after they kicked me out, they're already poking at me for the same old stuff. You know what's funny? I always handled the bills and passwords and fixing stuff at their place, and it never even crossed their minds that it was work. I just did it because it was easier than arguing, I guess, or maybe I just wanted to feel useful since nothing else about me was ever enough for them. Anyway, Norman and I were talking and he said you realize they're only nice when they need something, right? I mean, he's blind, but he's not wrong. My parents have always been the type where they'll do the bare minimum for you unless you're with him. It's like, oh, you crashed your car, here's money for a new one, need a place to stay, here's Finley's old room freshly painted. I always thought it was just some family dynamic thing, but talking to Norman made it so clear they treat me like I'm just an extension of what they want, not a person. So I started thinking about what I could do, not like some childish prank, but something that would actually make them feel it. I was of them to remember what it's like when the person you depend on just isn't there. I started small. Every time my mom texted for help with her tech, I just left her on read. Jose asked if I could help him transfer some files from his old laptop to Monica's. I said, sorry, busy. Dad emailed me about the printer setup. I didn't even reply. Then came the group chat. My family has this group chat where my mom sends chain messages and dad posts those boomer mean. It's mostly just her and shows her talking. I muted it. A couple days later, dad sent a message tagging me asking if I'd come by and help them with the new thermostat because it wasn't working right. I replied, I'm not available, maybe ask Yasser. Then I left the group. Norman laughed so hard when I told him that. The thing is, I knew exactly what had happened. My brother is useless with this stuff. Monica, even less. I'd set up their smart home stuff years ago. They never bothered to learn how anything worked, so they started texting more than calling. I ignored every single one, I guess. Maybe you're thinking, okay, that's just being petty, but TBH, it felt good, like really good. For once I didn't just fold and go running because they wanted something. Norman said you gotta let them sit in it. Then out of nowhere, I started getting messages from extended family. My Aunt Kendrick called, seeing my parents told her I was refusing to help when they needed it. She said, you know, family is supposed to stick together. Finley. I told her what happened about being kicked out, about Jose getting my old room for free. She got all quiet. She said, well, your parents are under a lot of stress. I said, so was I, and hung up. I was still looking for jobs, sending out resumes, had a couple interviews, nothing landed right away. I scraped by for a bit, ate a lot of cheap noodles, but I was okay. I'd rather be broke than humiliated again. Meanwhile, Hey and Monica started posting stories from my old room. I recognized the curtains, the stupid lamp I'd left behind. Monica tagged mom, and a post about finally having a place to call home, even if just for now. My mom commented, so happy to help you to start your life together. I screenshotted it and sent it to her with no caption. She left me on read classic. I started blocking numbers, first my parents, then Joe, when he started getting more aggressive, like, dude, this is family. Why are you being like this? I replied, you know why, and blocked him. To then about a month in, Norman's washing machine broke. I texted my dad, hey, do you know repair guy? He replied, maybe you should learn to be more responsive. I left that on read. The thing is, my parents aren't dumb. They just have this thing where they think they're always right, like, if you don't play by their rules, you're wrong. My dad used to say, you have to earn respect. Finley. He never said that to Jose. I asked him about it once years ago when he said, Joseph different, he needs more help. I just learned to stop asking. About 2 months after all this started, I heard from my cousin Jasmine. She said my mom was telling everyone I'd abandoned the family and people were talking. I asked Jasmine, what would you do if your mom kicked you out, but let your brother move in? She said I'd lose. It's so at least I wasn't the only one who thought it was messed up. Then came the engagement party. Josie and Monica were having it at my parents' house. My mom texted me, we'd love for you to come and help set up. Monica needs help with the sound system. I replied, can't, busy. She said family is more important than your pride. I blocked her. I heard from a friend who went that the sound was garbage and the lights kept flickering. I laughed, not gonna lie. So here's the thing, after months of this, I realized how much of their lives I've been holding up just by being available, not just tech stuff. I used to help with their taxes, pay some of the bills online, remind my dad about stuff he'd forget. Now they were on their own. I'm not saying I'm some mastermind, just that I knew exactly where to pull back every time they tried to guilt me. I doubled down. I told Norman, I'm done being the fallback. He said, finally. So now I wait. I know they're struggling more than they let on. Josie is already whining to relatives. Monica is pissed because nothing works, and my parents are acting like I'm the villain. Honestly, I don't care. For once, I'm the one in control. Next steps already in motion. If they want to act like I'm disposable, I'll show them what that actually feel like. We'll update when things get interesting, trust me. I'm just getting started. Update. So I'm back, and in GL things have gotten so much messier than I thought they would. I guess I always assumed my parents would just keep doing their thing, pretending nothing was wrong, acting like I'm the one with the problem because I DK. That's just how it's been forever. It's always like, hey Zay just needs more understanding, give him a break, he's sensitive. But me, apparently I'm supposed to just eat shit and say thank you. I know that sounds dramatic, but that's straight up the vibes. So I'll start with something minor that just set tone. Maybe a month or so after the engagement party disaster, which I didn't go to, and the sound system apparently glitched the whole time, I started getting random texts from Monica, not asking how I'm doing, not even pretending to be friendly, just stuff like, hey, what's the password for the smart thermostat, or the door lock is stuck again, can you come by? And this one time she just texted, it's freezing in here, why is the heat not working? I just left her. Unreal. Every time, honestly. At first I thought they'd just get someone else to fix things, but turns out no one in my family has ever actually learned how to do any of the stuff I set up for. Like, I can't count how many times I tried to teach my dad to reset the router or how to change the filter in the furnace. He'd always wave me away, say stuff like, that's your thing, Finley, it's beneath me. I guess it was beneath Josie to cause. He'd just say I IDK, ask Finley, and go back to whatever he was doing. Always got away with everything. My mom, she just acts like she can't hear you if you ask her to do something that isn't her exact plan. So now with me out of the picture, shit is actually falling apart. And it's hilarious. Like, I'm not gonna like seeing the family group chat blow up with questions I used to handle in 2 seconds. But now it's just them arguing about whether the oven broke or if they just tripped the breaker. It made my whole week. Josie tried to drag me back in with some guilt trip, saying, you're really gonna leave us hanging? And I just said, you got this, champ. Blocked him after that. What I didn't expect was how quickly I got real. For they tried hiring some dude on Facebook Marketplace to fix the smart lock, and now the front door doesn't even close right. Monica called me, not even bothering to say hi, just snapping, I can order food because the Wi-Fi's down. What did you do? I hung up. Norman was there and just started laughing, said, they're finally getting what they deserve. Then my mom started making moves. She actually showed up at Norman's place one day. I was sitting at the kitchen table scrolling through job boards, and she just walked in, didn't even knock. She goes, I just want to talk. I told her, you never wanted to talk when I needed help. She started crying, but I just got up and went to my room, closed the door. Norman came out, saw her standing there, and just said, you should go. She slammed the door when she left. After that, my Aunt Kendrick called, all worked up, saying the family was talking and I was making my parents' lives hell. I told her, you don't know half of it. She said, well, it's gone too far, you need to fix this. I said maybe they should have thought of that before kicking me out. She hung up. What's wild is even after all this, my dad still acts like it's no big deal. He sent me this long email about how family has to stick together and how he taught me to be tough, and I should be setting a better example for her. Yeah, I didn't even reply. I forwarded the email to Josie and wrote, your turn. I know some people reading this are going to say I'm being petty, but honestly, I'm not losing sleep over it. I spent years doing everything for them, try to prove myself, and for what? As soon as I needed something, I was out sooner. They can deal with their own mess. For one, there's also the money stuff. I used to handle a bunch of the online bill stuff from my parents because my dad would always forget passwords or lose the paper bills. I stopped, didn't say anything, just let the late notice come. I got a call from my mom, all panicked, saying the war was going to be shut off. I said, IDK, maybe you should call the company. She started yelling. So I hung up. Even Shoza started to get it. He texted me, Monica is pissed, the house is a mess, dad won't listen to me. I told him, you're on your own, man, and blocked him again. He actually showed up at Norman's one night, banging on the door, said he just wanted to talk. Norman answered, told him to leave. Josie tried to push past him, so Norman shoved him back outside and closed the door. Honestly, I didn't even get up, just kept watching TV. The best part, I finally got a new place, nothing fancy, just a small apartment. But it's mine, didn't tell my family. Just moved, blocked their numbers, stopped checking the group chat. Norman helped me move my stuff, and we just sat on the fly, or eating pizza. Not even talking about my parents felt better than anything I felt in months. Now I'm hearing from Jasmine that my parents are freaking out because it's taxis, and they don't know what to do. Apparently they tried to get some guy to a strip mall to help and he messed everything up, so now they owe more money. Monica is threatening to move out, says she can't live like this, and Josie is begging my parents for help. My dad refuses to admit he's in over his head, but my mom keeps calling everyone she knows saying I'm being cruel. Kendra texted, said my mom is losing it, and I should just be the bigger person now. Not anymore, they made it clear who mattered. I'm just giving them clarity back. There is a weird energy now, like I get text from blocked number. His voicemails I don't listen to. I ran into Jose at the grocery store, and he tried to act all casual, but then asked if I'd help him fix the home wife. I saw Monica would stop yelling. I told him not my problem and walked away. He followed me, grabbed my arm, and I just shook him off. Not in the mood. I guess this is what it looks like when you start playing the game. I'm not gonna say it's easy, cause sometimes it does get awkward, especially when someone from the family tries to guilt trip me or comes up in public. But they made their choice, now they're feeling it. So yeah, it's not some movie moment. There's no big speech, nobody learned anything. And I don't care, they're struggling. And I'm not stepping in. Next part's about to go down, and I can tell they're getting desperate. If you're still reading, wait for the last update. Trust me, they're about to realize what it means to be cut off for real. Final update. So I didn't think I'd actually go through with all this, like not all the way. I thought maybe I just keep ignoring them, maybe let them sweat a little, but TB. The way things played out, it was almost too easy. I know some of you wanted a neat ending or whatever, but this is just real life, so it's messy, and honestly, I'm still processing half of it. The first weird sign was actually just a random text from my mom. It was a photo of this old lamp I left behind, and she just asked, do you want this, or should I toss it? No hi, no context, just the lamp. I didn't reply. A couple days later, my dad sent some rambling message about how sometimes people need to just move on and grow up. I just left it on read. I wasn't planning to answer, and I didn't. Then the call started. First, it was Josa trying to sound casual, but every call I ignored just made it more obvious. His voicemails went from hey bro